The Bible is full of miracles, mysteries, and strange occurrences that can leave us scratching our heads and wondering just how did this happen. While the Bible is full of miraculous events, there are also stories of ordinary people living their everyday lives. But what if some of these stories were actually more than they seemed? Here are some amazing new discoveries about biblical history that might change everything you thought you knew. Let's jump in. Point 1. The Sea of Galilee.
Ho, ho, ho!
In the past few years, an archaeological team has been excavating at the site of the ancient Jewish village of Chorazin, located near the Sea of Galilee. They believe the town was inhabited during the time of Jesus. The team discovered many artifacts from the period, including a stone box engraved with the name Maria's and dated to the 1st century. They also uncovered pieces of pottery inscribed with the names of the months in the Hebrew calendar. And that's not all. The team found human remains from men, women, and children who lived there at the same time as Jesus.
Ho, ho, ho!
Their discovery confirms the Bible's account of the time when Jesus walked on earth. 2. Oldest fragment of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Archaeologists have found one of the oldest fragments of a Dead Sea Scroll ever unearthed. This fragment dates back to the year 1947. That would make it nearly 80 years old. It is hard to overstate the importance of such a discovery because the Dead Sea Scrolls are among the most important and valuable ancient texts ever discovered. They're the earliest collection of written books that contain the entirety of the Hebrew Bible.
Ho, ho, ho!
Most of these scrolls were found between 1947 and 1956 in caves near the ancient city of Jericho. To think that more could still be out there is exciting for scholars and archaeologists alike. 3. Bethlehem. In 2020, archaeologists discovered the remains of what they believe to be the world's oldest church near the biblical city of Bethlehem. The structure was built around 350 AD on top of what is believed to be the birthplace of Jesus Christ. The church was built by order of the Roman Emperor Constantine's mother Helena, who was a Christian.
Ho, ho, ho!
The church was used for several centuries until it was destroyed in 614 AD. By the time it was rediscovered in the early 20th century, only the foundation remained. Excavations began in the 1930s, revealing parts of the original church building, as well as other structures from different periods. Many Christian pilgrims visit the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem today to pay homage to Jesus' birthplace. 4. Jesus' family tree. Researchers recently discovered a stone tablet containing a list of names that may be the actual record of Jesus' family tree.
Ho, ho, ho!
The tablet was discovered at the archaeological site of Sukkot El Haiba in northern Israel. Researchers believe it may contain the names of Jesus' ancestors based on the fact that the text includes the name Mathat, which is similar to Matthew, and Jacob, which is similar to James, both of whom are listed in Jesus' family tree in the New Testament. Unfortunately, the text isn't completely legible, and scholars are still working to decipher it. 5. Ancient city. Archaeologists recently uncovered the ruins of an ancient city in Israel that they believe may be the biblical city of Shiloh.
Ho, ho, ho!
According to the Bible, Shiloh was the capital of Israel before the tribes were divided into Israel and Judah. It was the location of Israel's first sanctuary where the Ark of the Covenant was kept. In the book of Judges, it was the home of Deborah, the prophetess, and the place where the young Samuel received his call to become a prophet. Little is known about the city because it doesn't appear in any archaeological records from the time. But recent excavations have uncovered the remains of a large city that fits the biblical description.
Ho, ho, ho!
The city walls, towers, and gates were built around 1200 BC, which corresponds to the time period when Shiloh was supposedly inhabited. The excavators believe they may have found the very citadel mentioned in the Bible. 6. The tomb of Jesus. Two professors at a university in Denver, Colorado believe they've discovered the tomb of Jesus. They claim that historical records indicate that Jesus was crucified during the reign of Pontius Pilate, which took place between the years 26 and 36 A.D.
Ho, ho, ho!
They say the Gospels state that Jesus was buried in a tomb that was close to the place of crucifixion, which would have been on or near the Via Dolorosa. A Talmudic passage says that a Jew named Joseph bought the body of Yeshua bar Joseph for 30 pieces of silver, according to the professors. This aligns with the biblical account of Joseph of Arimathea purchasing Jesus' body and laying him to rest in his own tomb. Using these and other historical records as guides, the professors identified the Caiaphas family tomb as the likely burial place of Jesus.
Ho, ho, ho!
7. Jesus and King David. One researcher believes he has proof that Jesus was a descendant of King David. His research is based on a new interpretation of the phrase Son of Man as it appears in the New Testament. He believes the phrase was a title used by Jesus to indicate his royal lineage, much like the phrase Son of David was used by Jesus' followers to refer to him. If this is true, then Jesus would indeed be a descendant of King David, as the Bible says. 8. Bones of Jesus. A group of researchers recently announced that they have the bones of Jesus in their possession.
Ho, ho, ho!
They say they obtained the bones from a monastery in Italy, where they've been kept for centuries. The monastery's former owner, Father Ozier, fled to Rome with the bones during World War II. After his death, the current owner inherited the bones. However, no one knows for sure how the bones got to the monastery in the first place. The bones will undergo carbon dating to determine their age, but no one knows what will happen next. 9. Nazareth Village. Archaeologists recently unearthed the remains of what they believe to be the world's oldest church near Nazareth.
Ho, ho, ho!
The structure dates back to the 4th century, making it roughly 1,700 years old. It was built by order of the Roman Emperor Constantine, who wanted to create a shrine at the site of Jesus' childhood home. According to the Bible, Jesus grew up in Nazareth until he was around 30 years old when he began his ministry. The village was probably quite small and insignificant, but it played an important role in Jesus' life. There is very little archaeological evidence of Nazareth from the time period when Jesus lived there, but the team believes the church was built on the site of his house.
Ho, ho, ho!
10. The Last Supper. Some researchers believe they've solved the mystery of who was sitting at Jesus' right hand at the Last Supper. According to the Bible, the Last Supper was the final meal Jesus shared with his disciples before his crucifixion. During the meal, he predicted that one of his disciples would betray him. The disciple who betrayed Jesus was traditionally identified as Judas Iscariot, who sat at Jesus' right hand during the meal. However, some researchers believe that Judas actually sat at Jesus' left hand, not his right.
Ho, ho, ho!
They base this belief on a passage in the Gospel of John in which Jesus says to his disciples, "You know that in a little while I am going away, and you will be scattered, each man acting on his own. And you will leave the one who is hated, even though you will die, and you will not be faithful." Researchers believe that the disciple who would betray Jesus wouldn't want to sit at his right hand, so he would have sat at his left. Therefore, the traitor wasn't Judas, but rather John, who wrote the Gospel of John. 11. The Ark of the Covenant.
Ho, ho, ho!
Many people believe that the Ark of the Covenant, which was carried by the Israelites during their journey through the wilderness, is still out there somewhere waiting to be found. A recent discovery in Ethiopia lends credence to this theory. The Ark of the Covenant is said to have contained the Ten Commandments, which were given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai. The ark was made of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and it was extremely valuable.
Ho, ho, ho!
Whoever possessed the ark had the favor of God. When the Israelites entered the Promised Land, the ark was taken to Shiloh, where it remained for several hundred years. After that, it disappeared from the biblical record. There have been many claims over the years that the ark has been found, but none of these claims have been substantiated. The recent discovery in Ethiopia is the first time in hundreds of years that something related to the Ark of the Covenant has turned up.
Ho, ho, ho!
So there you have it, some amazing new discoveries about biblical history that might change everything you thought you knew. What do you think about these discoveries? Do they change your perspective on the Bible or your faith? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
Ho, ho, ho!